For those of you that thought we were going to start today's show with CBA talks and a labor battle, you're kind of right, but you're kind of wrong. Mostly wrong. We're not going to do a whole segment on it until later in the show for a couple reasons. We're going to take you behind the curtain. Number one, David Samson will join us. We enjoy those combos, so we'll talk to him about slicing and dicing the player proposal. Number two, AJ, we're in one of those weird news situations where many people will listen to this. And by the time they do, the MLB proposal will come out. We already know what it's going to say. I mean, this is the whole cap battle, and there's many other components, but they're smaller in terms of what really matters to fans. League minimum, how revenue's being shared, stuff like that. But the big battle will continue today. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. There will be a contingent of people that listen to that Samson conversation, and that will come out on the audio side for our podcast listeners probably tomorrow. So to just get a couple minutes in here at the top, your thoughts on the battle beginning nice and early. You know, last time the PA came out with their proposal, AJ, in May of 2021, and then the league didn't respond with a proposal until August. This time they lined it up one day, then the next day is the other side, which is cute. I mean, most of this isn't going to actually turn into anything. They're just going to battle for 6 months, but it's at least a little friendlier to see this.
Yeah, at least they're trying early. I mean, that's not going to do anything. It'll still have to come down to December, whenever if something happens. I mean, the owners, whenever they can lock them out, they will. So that's gonna happen. But it's nice to see him starting. I saw some of the proposals. I saw the proposal from the PA yesterday, and I understand exactly what they're trying to get done. And then today the owners will come back and say, "Oh, everything you said is wrong, and we want the complete opposite. We need a salary cap at $100 million and this and that." So it's all just positioning until they actually have to do something. I just wish they could get something done before we have to go through all the questions about labor stoppage.
December. Can you imagine, Kratz, if they actually got stuff done in December? 0% chance. I'll do something crazy on the show if they get something done and there's no lock.
If they come back with a proposal today or a counter proposal today, to me, we're ahead of the game from where we were before. Because before, the players said, "Hey, we'll offer this." And the owner said, "That's cool." Just crickets. So if they actually come back with something, to me, I think that's a helpful narrative in the contract negotiations.
Sure. It's a nice formality. So we're going to dive into all of the nitty-gritty. There are a number of points to go over just on the player side, since we don't have the league side, in terms of some things that they're looking for. And Samson's going to run through it with us. We can do some debating. We can do some digging into what really matters. But for now, let's start with the best player of all time.
He's charging the mound.
I mean, it's getting ridiculous, AJ. The National League Cy Young race is going to be insane. As good as Shohei Ohtani has been, if he has one blip or misses some starts, it's going to change the complexion of the race. This is his key notch on his belt that he's looking to accomplish this year. 6 no-hit innings, homered in his first AB again, and was pissed at himself for how many walks he had. That is greatness.
It is, but I still don't think he's going to win the Cy Young. I think that there's too much competition in the National League this year. I don't think he's going to end up with enough innings. I mean, yes, it's amazing what Ohtani's doing, but did you see what Cristopher Sánchez did in May? He didn't give up a run the whole month of May, right? Chris Sale's right there. We know Skeens is going to figure it out at some point. There's a bunch of candidates this year in the National League. Is he going to win the MVP? Yes, he's going to win. Just go ahead and give it to him. I mean, he's not. There's no one that can beat him because he pitches and hits, and everyone just looks at WAR. Well, you can't replace, or no one's more valuable than a guy who pitches and hits. So just give him the MVP. His numbers are unbelievable, but I don't know that he gets over 150 innings, and that is a low threshold. Sanchez keeps doing what he's doing. For me, he's the favorite. Also, I picked him before the year, so I'm hoping he wins.
And the Miz is definitely hitting his stride here.
I didn't even mention the Miz or Kyle Harrison. You can throw both those guys in there.
Because strikeouts play. Kyle Harrison, that's awesome. Like, great. The Miz, I mean, he's 20 strikeouts ahead of the next person. Obviously, we're saying all of this for all these guys continues. It will be the most fascinating race possible. Like, people will stop even looking to see who's going to win the American League because that league stinks. So you're going to want to see the National League Cy Young race. And I agree with AJ. I don't think Ohtani's got enough pitching-wise to do it. Maybe in another year he could. But again, how are you going to look away from a .9 ERA if that's what he finishes at? Well, easy. Miz might have 270 strikeouts. Cristopher Sánchez, if we're going off the same apples to apples, isn't going to give a run up the rest of the year. I mean, I guess it goes to Cristopher Sánchez then, but it is going to be amazing. It's awesome to see what he did. He went 6 no-hit. He out-hit the Rockies on his own through 99 pitches. By himself, he out-hit the Rockies.
That's right. Well, from his first AB, he out-hit the Rockies. Keep this up for a moment, too, or let's go back to it. I just want to read it for everyone that's listening later on. So BetMGM Futures, these are the live odds for Cy Young. You can bet right now, and this is how they have it. Cristopher Sánchez plus 150. Then The Miz at plus 280. Skeens plus 500. Ohtani plus 550. And then Chris Sale over at plus 800. We spoke a lot, yesterday about what Kyle Harrison's doing. Chase Burns has been insane, too. And we could show that tweet. Who's it? Nugget Chef on Twitter. He said, could be the greatest battle for NL Pitcher of the Month in the history of the order. He said it is. I don't know. We're not really following the Pitcher of the Month that closely, but it just shows how ridiculous pitchers in the National League have been. So he's got Sanchez on there, who has no runs in 39 innings. The streak's obviously longer because it started before this month. Miz at 0.29, 49 strikeouts and 31 and a third. Ohtani's ERA in May is 0.95. Kyle Harrison 0.96. Chase Burns 1.19. And for Cy Young purposes, I just don't know if he's going to give enough innings to the Reds. He's young. They're going to keep track of that. And then Wheeler this month is at 1.38. Whew. AJ, the National League starting pitching is next level right now. And it's not just the talent, it's that they're actually performing, right? Like you mentioned Skeens, who, has had a couple, for Skeens purposes, bad starts. And then he falls way behind the ERA race just because of that.
Yeah, the National League is just better than the American League. I don't know what else we can say. We keep saying this over and over again. But the award's going to go to Cristopher Sánchez. You go a whole month and not give up a run, guess what? You're going to win Pitcher of the Month. I don't, record or schmecker, wins don't matter anymore, remember? So he went the whole month and didn't give up a run. I mean, those other numbers are great, 4-0 with a this and that record, and Ohtani with a .95. But if Cristopher Sánchez doesn't win the Pitcher of the Month in the NL, then I don't know what the heck they're voting for.
I mean, if we bring that graphic up one last time of the top 5 BetMGM odds there, what's the one thing that all of them have in common? They're all playoff pitchers. They're all teams that are in the playoffs, and this might be what ends up winning it. Usually you talk about MVP, but the Cy Young Award is possibly the guy that is on the starting pitcher for teams that are pushing and ultimately make the playoffs or even have the best record in the National League.
So let me get this part straight. You think voters are going to look at team performance for the Cy Young Award?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying you pitched down the stretch big innings for your team. You're not just pitching, oh, great, Paul Skeens is out of it, but he's got a 1.98. I think if the Pirates aren't in it and Paul Skeens has the similar numbers, I think it's going to go to a guy like Cristopher Sánchez, who the Phillies are going to have to push to get into the playoffs. I think it's going to have to go to a guy whose team is making that push for the playoffs.
I wasn't trying to belittle the point. I actually agree with parts of this. If you are a pitcher on a dead team in the second half or even for the last couple months, AJ, are you pitching the same high stress as a pitcher who is a fringe wild card contender team trying to get their push and feel like almost every game's the postseason while someone else is pitching in an empty ballpark? I know it's not easy for adrenaline purposes, but you are pitching in more meaningful baseball games, and we don't necessarily have the numbers to show that.
I mean, voters have proven over the years that it doesn't matter how your team is doing for MVP and for Cy Young and things like that. So I wish it was more like that, but sadly, I don't think it's going to matter. They always just go off who the best numbers are, and there's no whoever at the end of the day, whoever has the best numbers is going to win. The voters have proven MVP when guys are finishing in last place, winning the MVP. When guys with similar or a little bit less numbers are in pennant races and they don't win, it's just proven over and over again. So I think it's going to come down to whoever has the best numbers at the end of the year and who people think is the best pitcher. I don't think it has anything to do with if you're in the playoffs or not. As sad as that is, and as much as it pains me to say that.
We haven't really talked about that topic much, AJ, that we've just kind of gotten rid of the part of the games mattering for individual awards. I feel like it almost got dispelled where it's, oh, you're an old school thinker if you're not just looking at the hard numbers for the player. You don't know and understand all the other factors. But I'm like, really? If you're a fan or you're working in the game, you know that you watch a certain player playing games in September versus someone else who's playing garbage time, and it's different. Is every home run and RBI and everything else the same? No. Some players are more clutch than others, right? Some guys have been really good at gobbling up great stats because they're good at hitting bad pitching, and then they pop up in the postseason and they're not as good. So I'm with you here. Should it be the deciding factor always? No. But should it be 1 ounce in the recipe? Yeah.
You're comparing apples to apples. You're not comparing take the National League Rookie of the Year or American League Rookie of the Year right now. If the Tigers continue to slide and the White Sox continue to be a team that's right there in the lead for a wild card spot right now, Munetaka Murakami's at bats matter more. And so if you're saying, okay, both their values are the same, they're very close, how are we going to differentiate it? Well, his defense and his home runs and his Murakami's hitting big home runs in big spots. If you're voting, you're not voting on a computer. You're not saying computer, you choose it based on the numbers. You're doing it based on, or it becomes just a war stat. You're doing it based on what you're seeing in that season.
AJ, what do you think?
Yeah, I understand all those arguments, but at the end of the day, they don't care about where your team is. They haven't. They've proven that over year after year after year now that they don't care where your team finishes. And I agree. Not all homers, not all wins, not all pitches are thrown the same when you're in the middle of a pennant race. They're much more pressure, much more adrenaline packed, all that stuff. But voters have proven over and over again it doesn't matter.
What are examples?
Mike Trout winning MVP, finishing last every year. Shohei winning the MVP when they finish last. There's A-Rod winning it the 1 year in Texas when they finished last. There's Felix Hernandez winning it with a 12-12 record in a team that didn't come close to making the playoffs.
But where they're comparable.
I can go on and on.
But like some of those Trout years, the Shohei year, like who was really that close? Like if you're talking about like the Albert Pujols, Ryan Howard time period where it was like the Cardinals were always in, Howard and Pujols are close, who should win it, that kind of thing. But I'm not even talking about Ohtani years. Ohtani years, whatever. He could play on a minor league team and still win MVP of Major League Baseball. But when it's close, apples to apples, when has that happened?
I don't have all the numbers in front of me.
Right now.
I mean, you win, Kratz. What do you want me to say? I don't know. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I'm sorry. I don't know.
No, I'm more saying like.
I mean, cool.
Yeah. Should the voters, because ultimately if we keep leaking towards that, then it ultimately just becomes a war stat. And whether you're a writer for the F war or the B war, and I get like
that.
Back in, and I guess that's what it's become. I know back in the day when I look at like old time stats, like 60s and 70s, and you go back through and you're like, whoa, that dude had twice the war of what this player or this pitcher had. How did he not win the MVP? He clearly had a better season. So maybe they were too far on that end of the spectrum.
They were. You get this is.
I mean,
the world, right?
Use 2023. 2023, Shohei won it. 30 first place votes. You know who he had a WAR of 9.9 because he was doing his thing in Anaheim, right? They didn't win. They weren't close to winning. Corey Seager got 0 first place votes. His OPS was Shohei's was 1,066. Corey Seager's was 1,013. The Rangers went to the World Series and won in 2023. He didn't get no votes. There's your example. That's pretty close. Sorry, pretty close.
No.
Yeah, but he pitched too.
What do you mean no?
Ohtani
50
pitched.
points OPS. 50,
No,
both over
He
1,000
pitched.
OPS.
But he pitched too. He got hurt at the end of August.
You asked when it was close. There's when it was close. 20 and he was on a last place team. Or
hitting
I don't know
wise,
if he was on
yes,
last
I
place,
get
but it was
that.
close enough.
They were definitely last. If not, yeah.
My thing is, yes, if there's two guys that are very similar and you're voting, it should be a part of the vote. And just because back in the day, they basically penalized players that weren't on winning teams so much that they didn't vote for them, doesn't mean that we just quash it completely and go the other extreme. One more thing on...
We can go to 2021 too. Vladimir Guerrero. I know Shohei pitched. Vladimir Guerrero had a higher OPS than him that year by almost 50 points. Didn't win. Didn't get one first place vote. Again, I know Shohei pitched, but the Angels weren't good in 2021 either. I mean, we can find all kinds of examples. It doesn't matter. It's a WAR stat now. Is Shohei more valuable because he does hitting and pitching than Vladimir Guerrero? Okay, well then he'll never lose the award. You should just give it to him every year as long as he pitches and hits.
Oh, I agree. We say that every day. I agree. I completely agree with that.
But you can make a million arguments on who's more valuable, this guy or that guy, to their team. And if it's truly the most valuable player, then it shouldn't just go strictly off some made-up formula that people can't even agree on the formula on.
Yeah, well, here, for me, I agree with you, AJ. I just don't think Ohtani's the answer. I agree with you. I think he's a unicorn case. I'm saying you take other guys, like use Trout. That's a good example, right? Trout, he's the nicest guy, but he is playing garbage games every year that he's healthy, right? And we're talking about the prime year, so he was healthy. But the team was out of it most of the time, well before the end of the season. So do you value those ABs the same as somebody you're comparing him to? And again, Trout's not even the best comparison some of those years because the numbers, not just WAR, were above and beyond many others, right? But I'm trying to prove the point that if you had two players matched up and one player is on a totally busted team, you can use it as an ingredient. I think you should use it as an ingredient. Most now don't think you should use it. Most voters for sure.
2017, Stanton won the MVP, right? For the Marlins, they finished under 500. Joey Votto had a higher OPS than him that year. Same WAR. They both were on crappy teams. Stanton won it pretty much almost unanimously.
Who was there anyone else in the running that year that was close?
Goldschmidt was the other one.
Okay.
Goldschmidt was on obviously Arizona, and Arizona finished in second place, 93 wins, and he finished in third place in the MVP voting. Now, granted, Goldschmidt's numbers were, he was 40 points behind Stanton in the MVP that year. But Stanton hit 59. Goldschmidt hit 36. So who was more valuable? I mean, the Marlins that year won 77 games.
I think this Cy Young will be a very intriguing. Who do we think is actually going to be the three? Because obviously we can choose. I think everybody could be right if you choose who you think is going to win. Who do we think is going to be the top three at the end of the year? To me, I think somehow, some way, Zach Wheeler gets in there. I have no idea how, but Zach Wheeler is like an afterthought so far this year. I think it's Cristopher Sánchez, and I think the Miz are my top three at the end of the year.
Why not Ohtani?
I don't think he's going to get in that top three discussion.
Okay.
And that's okay. He still might be top five. For some reason, obviously I can kick Zach Wheeler out. I can say I can kick Zach Wheeler out, but I think if I kick Zach Wheeler out, I might put Chris Sale in because anybody that's watched Chris Sale's outings right now, I just feel like, and everything is barring injuries. I'm making the decision saying each one of these guys is not getting hurt. That's not what's getting these guys out of here. I just feel like there's like that. Chris Sale has that look when he's throwing right now that he turns it up in big spots. He turns it up when it's needed, and he's going to get the innings, and he's going to slide into that top three area if I were to choose. So I would say Ohtani's top five right now.
Okay. To me, I mean, stuff-wise, Ohtani's got it going on right now. It's just right. If they're limiting starts, innings, if he does have to take a break at some point, he's going to push not to, but you just don't know, right? And the Dodgers are the team that's going to hit the brakes if need be. One quick note on Sanchez. So remember, AJ, he got paid in the offseason. They kind of ripped up his deal, which is pretty unconventional because they could have just rolled out with a really good discount and surplus value for a while. They decided to pay him. Then in his first 2 starts, 12 innings, 8 earned runs. People are like, oh, what the heck? I'm sure someone on the radio called in out in Philly. Why'd we pay this guy? We already had him, and now he gave up 8 runs in his first 2 starts. Look at the game log the rest of the way. Whew. It's impressive. That's how quickly the narrative can change. You're like, Sanchez, is he okay?
I mean, I did a radio interview in Atlanta. They're talking about Kim, shortstop. He's 4 for 42 since coming off the IL. They're like, is it time to get rid of him and put Dubon on at shortstop? I'm like, no, calm down. I said, if he was doing his normal thing and he goes 4 for 42 in August, would you guys be worried? They said, no, it's a slump. I'm like, exactly, calm down. Guys have bad starts. Paul Skeens had a bad start. Remember his first start? Everyone's like, oh, no, what's wrong? He's fine. People have bad outings. It happens.
Yeah, and also, I know we didn't talk a ton about him in this segment, but Skeens could easily be in that top 3 by the end of the year. Skeens could go 0 for June in a good way, right? Nobody scores a run off him in June.
He has like a 0.5 ERA in night games and like a 6 ERA in his like 2 bad day game starts. So, yeah, Paul Skeens could easily be up there also. Like, I made myself choose a top 3. So that's why I got those.
Yeah, we're going to do a game like that later. All right, let's step aside for a moment and talk about the Rookie of the Year race coming up in the American League, but also just 2 dudes smashing the baseball this week, Murakami and Yordan Alvarez. Coming up. It's getting hot out there, people. Let's talk Mack Weldon fashion show real quick. AJ's got the Pima crew neck t-shirt. Froth heather is the color.
Froth heather. It's got little pieces of gray heather in there. It's nice. It's soft. It fits really well. It's great for summer down here in Florida. And I got a couple linen shirts and linen pants that are going to look nice when I go to Europe here in a couple weeks.
Ooh, very nice. Yeah, it's very smooth, very thin. I'm wearing the 18-hour jersey short in heather gray. I'll leave that down here for you. And the Pima short sleeve Henley. The color on mine is Desert Spring. But it really resonates. It fits and kind of matches with everything in the wardrobe too. It's the classic look. They know what they're doing here. So check it out. We've got the code for you too. Get moving with Mack Weldon. Comfortable anywhere. Go to MackWeldon.com. Get 20% off your first order of $125 or more with promo code FOUL. That's MackWeldon.com. Code FOUL. Injuries for the Dodgers. Teoscar Hernandez was super frustrated. He left to hamstring strain, left hammy strain a few weeks, IL for him. And Katie Wu wrote that Alex Call should see more starts in left. Also, damn, we got more news about Kike. AJ, it's a significant oblique tear, so it's looking like it's going to be a couple months. 6 to 8 weeks was the timetable for now that was listed.
Yeah. Sucks for both these guys.
No.
But my guy Alex Call is going to get some more burn. I was joking with him on Saturday when I saw him that you can't even play the day I come in to call your game, and he's like, I'm just going to be ready when I can, ready when I'm called on. Well, guess what, Alex? Here's your chance. So we know what you do. You take your walks, you get on base, you put up quality at bats, you play a great left field. So go get him. Sucks for Teoscar, sucks for Kike. Oblique strains you don't mess around with. Kike's got a bad one. Let it heal, and we all know Kike only matters in the postseason.
I feel like you got to send him a card or something with the oblique craziness that you had, the rainbow that you had from your oblique. I feel like Kike would appreciate that. Be like,
yeah,
don't worry, dude. You can come back from this. Look at me now.
I only missed 2 weeks, so he's missing 6 to 8, so it's a little different.
Well, you should include that in your note too.
You can come back quicker than you think.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. So anyway, those two go down. While we have one more minute before the TV crowd comes back, people were asking in the chat about if there's any innings pitched limit. No, for Cy Young, no. I mean, a reliever can win the award.
Corbin Burns is one that had the fewest as a starter, right?
I think so.
It was like 156 or something.
Yeah, mid 100s. Yep, that sounds about right. Most rookie homers before June. Murakami. What is going on? I mean, AJ, you're the perfect guy to talk to. You watch the White Sox through thick and thin, and this dude has taken the league by storm. They can't say they knew this was coming. They saw a guy who
fell in their lap. Yes. They can say whatever. He fell in their lap because every other team passed. Every other team missed on him. And the White Sox were like, well, no one's signing this guy. Let's take a shot. And they signed him. So good for the White Sox for stepping up to the plate. But he fell in their lap. And what he does is everyone said he couldn't hit heaters. He's just mashing everything. I saw him take a slider to left last night. He's a good hitter. I know his average isn't very high, but this guy's a good hitter. And he takes his walks. He's got sick power. For a guy that's not huge, he's got some serious, serious power.
Yeah, a lot of homers to center. Last night's
left center.
20th was to left center, right? I mean, it's insane. And the strikeout rate high, right? The strikeout rate is high. He's got a lot of swing and miss, including in the zone. But if you're out of the zone, he's not swinging at it. That's the thing, right? So you're looking, it's like, yeah, he's going to miss in the zone sometimes, but he's not going to miss in the zone every time. So you're going to get him. But eventually, if he forces you in the zone and he finds his pitch, he's homering. He can also foul off pitches too quite well. So he can drive a deep AB. He's got it going on. He's actually you know what's funny, Kratz? He's the front office dream. This is the guy. This is somewhat of a 3 true outcomes, or I guess an extreme 3 true outcomes. Strikeouts. He can take a walk. He can hit a ball a million miles, or EV, a million miles an hour. This is the dream. This is what front offices look for.
I think sometimes front offices miss because you look at a guy and you go, oh, he controls the strike zone, so that's so great. When in reality, he's just taking pitches that are starting off the plate, and then if it comes back on, they don't like battle the at bat, the games. Because now I want to tune. I can't believe I'm saying this. I want to tune into a White Sox game around his at bat, around Montgomery's at bat. Like, I want to see it. And what I've seen from Murakami is, yes, he takes pitches that are balls out of the hand, but when it gets to 2 strikes, I've seen him battle some at bats. Like, there's some 3 true outcome guys who are just like, if it's not right down the middle, I'm just taking it. If it's a borderline pitch, it's fine. Like, I'll strike out. That's totally fine. It looks to me like he battles, and for a guy with power to battle at bats, it doesn't sound like it's like rocket science, but it is something that very few people do, and I've been super impressed with it.
And AJ's been strong about this, easily leading the pack for AL Rookie of the Year. But just
not according to Jim Bowden and Kratz. They both said McGonigal, even though he's got an OPS by over 100 points over him.
This is where it's worth bringing up again.
As I said, if he hits 40 to 50 homers, he's going to win Rookie of the Year. I'm sorry. I don't care what McGonigal does. And also, your argument, the Tigers stink. So if you're going to use your argument, the White Sox are in a playoff race, the Tigers stink.
So let's get into this for a moment, okay? The AL Rookie of the Year race, and there's others we know, but we're looking at Murakami and McGonigal right now. Those are the 2 that are above 800 OPS, and Murakami's, of course, over 900 OPS, 20 homers. McGonigal has 3. We know the game's not all about homers. And on this show, it's not like we're afraid of advanced stats, okay? What we do is try and crap on both sides enough to bring us to the middle. We bring up WAR every day on the show. We bring up OPS plus. We bring up defensive metrics like outs above average. But in this case, AJ, Kevin McGonigal's Fangraphs WAR is 2.4. Munetaki Murakami's Fangraphs WAR is 2. If we're about a third of the way through the season, Murakami's going to be a 6-win player, and McGonigal would be a 7.5-win player. I'm sorry. Murakami should be the AL Rookie of the Year.
I'm sorry, that's
if
wrong.
You have
and
eyeballs
also because he's getting more points for defense. And by the way, Murakami plays first base, not third base. And he plays first. Yeah, Murakami stole a base, though. Didn't he steal his first base yesterday?
He did.
He's going to start stealing some bases. This is the biggest problem I have with WAR. I understand this. but it puts an overvalue on walks, stolen bases, and sometimes defense, depending on who you are, right? I mean, walks and stolen bases are way overvalued for me in WAR, because especially after the number we showed yesterday, where everybody can get 10 stolen bases in the game. So I just don't. I don't know how, if these numbers continue. Okay, we're a third of the way through. Murakami hits 60 homers. Kevin McGonigal, nice player, he hits 9. Murakami drives in 120. McGonigal drives in 60. Who's the better? Who's the rookie of the year?
It's not close.
It's
right
not even
now,
close.
it's not close.
It's
He
not,
should
it shouldn't
be
be close
unanimous
now.
and rookie of the year right now.
It shouldn't be close
Unanimous.
now. I'm sorry, it shouldn't. McGonigal's a nice player, really nice player, going to be a great player. But this year, as the rookie year, it's Murakami. I'm sorry.
The end of April, McGonigal still had it. McGonigal was still hitting 330. McGonigal was still, yes, his power wasn't there, but he was playing shortstop every day for the Tigers. I think he still had it. Murakami not just caught up to him, but passed McGonigal. McGonigal's having a great year, but you have 20 before the end of May. He could slump the rest of the year and end with 40. And to me, the at-bats that I see, I don't care that he plays first base and he's not going to add as much value to defense. Murakami is taken out of that lineup, and I know it's not the MVP race. It's the American League Rookie of the Year. Murakami's taken out of that lineup. The White Sox are a completely different team. The Tigers are they'll have just the worst record in Major League Baseball. They wouldn't have just the second worst in the American League. I don't think it's close. I don't think it's close right now. As much as I wanted and thought McGonigal was going to be the guy, I don't think it is close.
Yeah, there's a defense and base running difference, but we're looking at the player comp right now. Murakami, a 375 OBP. McGonigal, that's elite. That's incredible, 399. But the way that Murakami's impacting games, and when I say impacting games, AJ,
he changes.
He's now battling. Exactly, and the way that the pitchers are navigating through it, right? Because now they're pitching carefully around him, and he's still delivering. And that's when, obviously the best ever was Bonds, right? You'd see one pitch a night or two or three, and they would all be homers. Murakami has to start becoming that.
I don't know if he's going to get to that extreme, but yes.
No, I'm not saying Bonds, but he's going to get much less to hit, so he's got to take advantage of what's there.
Yes, and the people hitting in front of him and behind him become even more important. So I agree. He's changed his whole lineup. He's changed the whole lineup. He has made it easier on Colson Montgomery. He's made it easier on Miguel Vargas. He's made it easier on Chase Maidra through Grand Slam last night. I just think he has changed this whole lineup, and because he is a presence. And any good teams have a guy that has that presence, and right now on the White Sox, they're above 500. He is the guy with that presence.
Yep.
Agree.
One more while we're on this, because it'll tie into the other award. We really haven't talked awards much, so I wanted to mention this while we highlight some crazy performances this week that lead us to this discussion. AJ, do you think Yordan Alvarez has a chance at an MVP if he plays the full season? He's 5 homers in his last 3 games. He's got 20 on the year. And actually, on Fangraphs WAR, it's Bobby Witt 1 at 3.5. It's Yordan 2 at 2.9. Let me even bake it more for you. The Astros make the playoffs as the 3rd wild card. And Yordan plays a full season. After 48 games last year, and they barely missed. This year, he plays a full season. They barely make it. And he hits 55 homers. MVP candidate.
He's a candidate. Where's Judge at, though?
Judge projects the rest of the way with the numbers.
I'm going to need Judge's numbers at the end of the year.
We're playing games today, but extrapolate. So project what everyone has 1/3 of the way through, the rest of the way.
I think you can throw Murakami in the MVP if the White Sox continue to hang around. His numbers go out the way they are. I think you can throw Alvarez in there. The Astros have to get, way hotter and stay in this race or get into this race because right now they're not in it. I just find that was it Fangraphs award? Has Alvarez played in the field this entire year?
I'm looking it up.
Because here's my question. So how many games? You can't have played
9 games.
Not much.
9 games.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're Murakami, okay, and we're doing a McGonigal versus Murakami. If Murakami didn't play first and he was just the DH, would his WAR be higher? Because if the numbers are similar, I mean, I know Alvarez has a higher OPS, but if they were similar, is it better just to be the DH because then you get compared to other DHs? I don't know. I don't know enough about it. This is just
you want
question.
Well, I guess this is the question. I don't have the answer
because
to,
Alvarez's defense can't be helping him. He's only got 9 games.
He's not that bad out there sometimes, but if you play defense and you even play at an average level, it will help your number.
His defense is hurting him. He is negative 0.8 B WAR. I'm looking at B WAR on his defense. So that's definitely hurting him, but I think it can help other guys. I think if you're comparing hitter to hitter, I don't think anybody's saying that Murakami is in the same realm as Yordan.
No.
I think when we talk about Yordan, you talk about the fact that, and for him to win the MVP, you have to look at Shohei winning the MVP as a DH. And what did he do? 50-50, 100 and some. Yordan's on route to that. I'm trying to look at where he's at with
minus the
he's got to have italics all over his page. He's got 20 homers. He's got 39 RBI. So he's got to have 130 RBI. He's got to be 55 plus homers. He's got to hit over 310. In my opinion, OPS has to be in like the 1100s for him to be an MVP candidate. You look at what Schwarber got last year. He got votes. I mean, granted, I don't know that he should have won it had Ohtani not been in the league, but the voting said he got it. So to me, I think Yordan can get it. He can definitely get it, but those numbers have to be here and maybe higher. Where he's at right now, maybe higher.
Mm-hmm.
To be it has to be historic. That's what we talk about at the end of every year.
Yeah, you got to be historic, and then sometimes that's not even enough, like Cal Raleigh. So we'll talk to Josh Reddick about this soon. He's going to join us. Let's do one more segment in between. There's some expansion talk that is bubbling again today. We'll be right back. Hey, SeatGeek is the spot, the number one ticketing app, and over 35 million downloads. So if you're looking to go to a game, they are your destination with a code too for 10% off tickets. But let's look at tonight. Let's look at a few. There's only a few games tonight, right? It's Thursday. Usually you have just a few night games, but there's some good ones, guys. So if you want to see Skeens up against the Cubs finally won a game. They snapped the 10-game skid. It's Skeens against the Cubbies. You've got Chris Bassett against the Blue Jays. With an Orioles team that's playing much better ball. We'll talk about them later. Chris Sale's pitching tonight in Boston. That's a fun storyline. And AJ, I'm going to bet on this game later, but Spencer Arrighetti has a 1.32 ERA, Cy Young contender in the American League, pitching up against Evaldi in Rangers Astros.
And Evaldi's been nasty if you paid attention to what he's been doing his last 4 or 5 starts. He's been really good too. So listen, I'd go to Skeens first because I would love to watch Skeens pitch in person. But the next one for me would be the Red Sox and the Braves because Sale in Boston against Tolle. I think it's Tolle. Is it Tolle? Yeah, Tolle is a solid lefty matchup for me.
It is Tolle. 2.45 ERA for Tolle, who's been great too. Yeah, Tolle and Early have been great for Boston, keeping him in. So this is good stuff. Check it out. Also, SeatGeek. Green dot good, red dot bad. Can't make it any easier than that. Code territory 10, 10% off tickets on SeatGeek. Get after it, FT fan. Make sure you click the link in the description and download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Can we show the tweet real quick too? The other thing we wanted to show in here. I just want to get like a face reaction from Kratz once I read this. Jonah Tong will remain with the Mets. They intend to get creative with his usage and deploy him in different ways. This according to Carlos Mendoza, Laura Albanese with the tweet. Let's see Kratz's reaction. He loves a good young dude, bulk guy.
Love that. I love when there's plenty of veteran guys that are the ones that fill this role. They get called up to the big leagues and they're like, oh man, okay, that's fine. Like I was starting in AAA. I'll come in, I'll fill in, I'll throw 3 innings. I'll be down for 2 days. I'll be back. I'll give a spot start. Oh no, they're doing that with one of their better pitching prospects.
But it's a soft landing.
It's broken. It's broken to me. It's broken to me. I hope the best for Jonah Tong. That is not at all what I'm saying. I hope the best for Jonah Tong. I hope he goes out and has a 40-inning scoreless streak. But I promise that is so freaking tough to do. If you go 3 innings here, ooh, spot start, 4-inning spots. Okay, no. Now you're in the pen. No. Oh, brutal.
There are a lot of business happenings going on this week in Major League Baseball. We're trying to focus on the games, but you got to hit some business too. Sacramento is making their push, not the Sacramento A's, the city. They're like, hey, we're hosting a team. We want to leg up in the competition for the west side of the country battle, right? So there's going to be 2 more teams added. It's not official yet, but there will be, okay? At some point in the next few years, you're going to hear about a team that is popping up in our league in, as Manfred said, crack the country in half, intercontinental, and left side, right side is each going to get one, right? So not necessarily coast, because the team who's going to get it on the west side is not on the coast, even though I'm going to say this part first. Maury Brown, who's going to join us next week. Sacramento officially unveils MLB expansion ballpark and funding details. So it's backed by a fully entitled 50-acre stadium site, nearly $2 billion in public and private investment, and the largest underserved major league sports market in the country. That's coming from their PR and everything they send out here. They're currently hosting a team, of course, and their council for economic stuff said we have to market the site, the capital, the community, blah blah blah. AJ,
underserved market. They have a basketball team, and Orlando's market's way bigger than Sacramento. Sorry, just saying.
And they have the Giants. The Giants aren't that far.
No, Eric, no, you're wrong. Mark Friedman, founder and chairman of Fulcrum Property and board chair of the Greater Sacramento Economic Council. When MLB moves forward on expansion, Sacramento will be impossible to ignore. It is impossible to ignore them. Right now, they have a team, and Kratz,
they're impossible to know they have a team right now.
Exactly, they have a team right now, and they're good, and they're good,
and they're being ignored. So we're building up.
The ballpark's fine, but it's not like bubbling. It's not busting open by the seams with, thousands of people sold out every night. Tickets are crazy in the secondary market. There's none of that going on. And also, all of this is technically a moot point. Salt Lake City's a lock. It's already done. I'm telling you, it's not officially done, but it's handshake done. Sacramento is not getting a team, and neither is Portland, and neither are those other spots. I'm just being very straightforward about this. I've spoken to people behind the scenes. Salt Lake City has a team. They are going to get a team. They have everything lined up, and everything else is just posturing to find out how much they'll have to pay and to make it like they're doing a fair fight here. It's like when Roki Sasaki growing up said, I'm going to be a Dodger. I love Shohei Ohtani. And once he signed there, it didn't matter what you were doing. It wasn't rigged. He just was signing there. This is the same concept, Kratz. MLB is choosing Salt Lake City, period.
That's an underserved market. Sorry, that's an underserved market for a major league franchise. Like, that's exactly what they're looking. If that's part of the criteria that they're looking for, like Sacramento, like it's cool, like it's nice, but like they don't need to build a mall with a baseball park around it in Sacramento for like. You have your chance, Sacramento. If you want a team, you have to show them you have to show Major League Baseball in the next 2-3 years, whenever Vegas is finally opened and they move out, show them that this city would be behind it. Because, sorry, if you look at everything that's going on in Salt Lake, you're going to have a tough time beating them. They are going to be the team in Salt Lake City.
They're getting a team. Our next guest is ready, so I don't even think we have to spend more time on this. Although I will ask a later guest about this. I played in Salt Lake.
They supported us in AAA. They supported us in AAA, big time.
The Bees.
And I was there. I loved it. It was awesome. It was the Buzz back then, but the Bees, the Bees. It was great.
A Bee.
It was great place to play.
Number one factor on the list: how much money will come from public money? Salt Lake City will destroy anyone in that category. If Sacramento says, oh, out of the $2 billion, we're giving 800, Salt Lake's going to be like, cool, we'll give 1.2. Like, they will beat the number by far. That's
They
a fact.
pay homeless people to live there. They have tons of money out there.
They have stupid money and they will spend it on sports. They're all aligned on it. I'm just saying they are a powerhouse. They are the dream for what MLB wants on their checklist. I'm telling you. I've spoken to people behind
You're
the
going to
scenes.
have to get a
work for
roof
the
on
league.
that stadium, though. Going to need a roof on that stadium because it gets insanely hot and it's insanely cold there. It's both.
They will
you
do
get
it.
both there.
Yeah,
And the ball will
retractable
jump.
roof. They will
Great
pay
place
for
to
it.
be.
It will be state of the art. Okay, and I have no stakes in the game for this. I'm not a Utah guy. I've been there once. It's not like I know all about it. I just know about the business side of what's going on here. They're getting a team. All right. Anyway, let's get back to the Astros. Josh Reddick joining us next. AJ, give me a line on Blue Chew.
Well, do you need help with your love life, Scott?
Perhaps.
Do you want to turbocharge your love life?
Yes.
Well, then you need Blue Chew Gold because it has 4 active ingredients that help you not only turbocharge, but you can supercharge it if you take one of these.
And AJ's talking about that new arousal-boosting formula that combines passion and performance into one tablet that dissolves under your tongue for super fast onset. No more waiting for a pill to kick in. No more moments ruined by performance anxiety. Just the results you want when you want them. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. A special deal is there for the FT fam. Right now, when you buy 2 months of Blue Chew Gold, you get the third for free with promo code FOUL. That's promo code FOUL. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. Thank you to Blue Chew for sponsoring the show. And thank you, AJ, for talking love life. The process is simple and it's all online. Get started today at BlueChew.com and go for gold.
We're back for a few minutes, just in the commercial break here, and then 2 minutes, really. Josh Reddick will join us, and we'll talk Astros. I want to talk NL West for a moment, but not the Dodgers, not the Padres. Have you seen the Arizona Diamondbacks lately? Schedule watching. We are schedule watching. 11-2 in their last 13 against the Giants and Rockies. They've only played the Giants and Rockies. That's a great dose of medicine, but you do have to beat those teams. And AJ, the thing that was exciting for me was the pitching looked better than I expected to start the year, but that it can last, right? Eduardo Rodriguez pitching well. Soroka's been great. I think he's joining us soon on the show, either I think next week.
Seawald in the back.
Seawald.
Really good.
What a move. The one problem for them at the beginning of the year that kept them more 500-ish was that some of their stars weren't hitting, and you knew they were going to hit. So here comes Ketel and company. They look good.
They're good. They're a good team. They've turned it on here. Now the schedule helps, but you got to beat those teams. And the schedule, but they're good. Listen, they were one of those teams going into this year that we said if everything lines up, they could be pretty good and get to the postseason. It's looking good for the Diamondbacks in the desert right now.
Mm-hmm.
Ketel Marte is blasting the baseball from both sides of the plate. That homer he hit from the right side the other day, like 2 days ago, that was crazy. Corbin Carroll went through a little bit of a meh, and he's doing it. He's one of the most valuable hitters based on WAR, but they just create stuff offensively. Is their pitching enough? Are they going to hold up? I don't know, but right now they are killing it.
Team should have given up more for Ketel in the offseason. They would have traded him. This segment is presented by Royal Retros. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Josh Reddick joining us right now in a sweet Colt 45 uni, actually. Josh, good to see you, man. How you been?
I'm doing great, boys. How we doing? Good to be on. Good to see everybody.
Life is good. Life is good. We'll talk about the jersey in a moment. Let's talk about the current team. So, are they back in the mix? I mean, partially because the AL is not great, but how are the Astros? You watch most of the games. What are you seeing, man?
Gosh, the AL stinks, doesn't it? You mean right now they're the Houston Yordan Alvarez. If they're without this guy, this man is on a cosmic level right now at the plate, just doing everything right. It doesn't matter if Jacob deGrom's up there or Nolan Ryan's up there. I don't think you throw him a strike right now, it's probably going to leave the yard. But the thing that I talked about with the boys this morning on our show was you got to kind of look at the pitching. The pitching is kind of stabilized a little bit. At least kept them in games. Has it won them any ball games? No. but it's kept them in ball games here lately to where they have a shot to where their lineup can keep them in ball games because despite all these injuries, Christian Walker's having a great bounce back year, which I felt like he was going to have last year, just got comfortable. Yordan being who he is. They need guys like Cam Smith to turn it around because he's the guy they're going to have to lean on for a long time. Altuve being hurt. Isak Paredes could play a little bit better, obviously losing Correa hurt, but they're putting this team on Yordan Alvarez's back, and he's doing everything he can to keep them relevant. And yeah, the good thing about that is everybody in the AL West is below 500, so it's really anybody's game in that division, in that league for that matter, because they're only, I think, 3.5 out on the wild card. So are they out of it? No. Is there hope? There's a little bit of sliver. Have they turned it around? No. But there's a little bit of positive reinforcement thinking for this fan base right now.
I mean, can the offense carry him? Because this was a team forever, Verlander, Fromber, Hunter Brown, pitching back into the bullpen with Hader and Abreu and for Ryan Presley for years when they were winning these World Series. Can this offense continue to carry them for long enough to get back some of their pitching? Because for me, it's a two-man show, like you said, and I just don't know that at some point teams are going to stop pitching to Yordan Alvarez. And can the other guys figure it out? And yes, Cam Smith, Jeremy Pena, where are these guys? They need more for me.
Cam's just got to learn more. He's got to understand, like, this game's hard and he's young. So we all know how that is. The boys, you got to get young. You got to grind through it. But they get these guys on reinforcement in the next month. They can obviously run away. But anytime you have Hunter Brown on the mound every fifth day, you're feeling pretty sexy about yourself and winning that ball game. Getting guys like Hader back, getting Brian Abreu back to where he is, because they've got some established roles right now. Brian King's been fantastic for him. Santa coming up, making his debut. That guy is absolutely electric. He could solidify himself in a bullpen role. But right now, that lineup, even when they're doing good as a whole lineup, it's mostly 1 through 5. And then that 6 through 9 is kind of a coin flip. Hopefully we get some guys on to help turn that over. So if they can figure out getting a more complete lineup to score runs, and I've covered this team for a couple of years now, their biggest issue is runners in scoring position. They get guys on, but it's like they go blind at the plate when they get runners in scoring position, just doing better with guys on base, driving in runs with 2 outs and just not striking out. When you can hit that little easy sac fly, sneak in that one little run in the second that may help you out when the end of the game rolls around, just doing the little things. And I think that's one thing all of baseball is missing is little things. And this is a team that can really benefit from that because at times they are very stagnant with their hitting. And then, as we've seen, been very horrible on both sides of the baseball with pitching as well. So just finding a way to stabilize themselves, but they just got to do something to switch it up. That long ball strikeout stuff isn't going to work for you every night.
All right, well, let's go to the pitching then. In my math, if you have 5 starters and only 2 of them give you a good chance to win in who I think will be Spencer Arrighetti and when Hunter Brown comes back, you're still losing 3 games. Like who is going to step up? Is Peter Lambert, can he take a little bit extra step? I know he's doing well, but you're talking about a guy to solidify that and flip it to 3 good starting pitchers, and then the lineup battles out the other 2 starts.
Yeah, I think it personally starts with guys like Imai. Imai not being able to figure out what's going on right now. Yes, the no-hit outing was fantastic to see for this fan base, but this is a guy who's got to get it and get it fast because we're paying you all this money. You're the highest paid player on the team. They need a guy like you to step up. You came over here like, hey, I don't want to go to the Dodgers. I want to beat the Dodgers. And right now, I'm not even sure if this guy would even see the Dodgers lineup. So I like the way Burrows is pitching. He could be a little bit more effective. I know he ran into some bad luck early on in the month, but we're almost starting June. That ship has sailed beyond the good luck, bad luck stuff. Again, his outing against the Rangers was promising. So it's there. It's just whether they piece it together. And from there on, I don't know who is going to step up. Guys like, I like AJ Blueball, but he just doesn't know what his role is because there's so many moving parts right now. He's so good at coming in and giving 3 to 4 when you need him. And then you throw him in the starter role, and it's like it's a complete different person out there. So I think it starts with Imai. I think it continues on with guys like Burrows, and those guys just have to figure it out because, like you said, when you're piecing together 3 bad starts, not only is it bad for your starters, you're stretching guys in your bullpen every series, and that amounts to a lot of wear and tear come September and August.
Do you see it from Tatsuya Imai? You keep bringing it up that he's the guy that maybe needs to be the guy. He either doesn't walk anybody and it's loud contact, or he is walking everybody and then the loud contact comes. So what do you need to see from him? And does he even have that in there to say, okay, he could be a guy that could give us 5 innings of 3-run baseball?
It's definitely in there. And the one thing with him, it's not been like stuff effectiveness. It's either the nasty backs, or I don't even know what he calls this slider, the one that drops straight down and backwards. It's nasty. But it seems like you said, Kratzy, it's either center cut, cookie cutter, give me that thing, hit it out of the ballpark, or it's not even competitive. So if he could learn to just fill up that corner part of the strike zone and just move the ball around, he's just got to stay out of that middle or nowhere spot. So once he figures that out, he's fine because the stuff's there. His effectiveness is there. The pitches have movement. And from one thing we've learned covering him is he's just got to get comfortable. He hasn't adjusted to the lifestyle of baseball over here. And yeah, granted, a huge culture change for somebody like that. But they've given this kid every opportunity to make him feel comfortable. So he's just got to take that next step forward and say, okay, here's my positive start against a pretty good team and a pretty good lineup. I have to find out what it did for me moving forward to get to where I need to be. And I just think it's throwing more competitive strikes, getting out of the middle of the zone and just kind of painting some corners to let his stuff play. Because once you look at a plane, that fastball comes out of the same arm slot as that slider does. It's just a matter of where can I put it? Where can this pitch go? Because like you said, we can walk all day and then just wait for that one to do all the damage. So he's just got to get rid of that guy.
Josh, you mentioned all the injuries. Hunter Brown supposed to be coming back soon. Hader's coming back soon. But Altuve, no rehab games. They're talking about just sending him to Palm Beach and lining up some inter squad at bats, I guess. What's your thoughts on this? Because as much as the couple times I had to go on rehab, actually I only went on rehab twice, 2 days each time. I mean, it sucks, but it also was kind of fun to get down there and hang out with the young kids again.
I agree. Yeah, I've spent several stints down there for rehabs, and I was a firm believer. Take your rehab stint, and it's early. It's not like you're pushing for a September playoff spot. We need you to come back early. This is an oblique injury. This is something you use every part of your body on that field, swinging, hitting. Going to the bathroom is a pain in the you-know-what, just when you pull an oblique. So at first, the thing that pops out is his miraculous healing factor. When they said this was a grade 2, I've had both of them grade 2s, and it was 4 to 6 minimum. So I see no need to rush. Go down there, get your at-bats. If you need 3, great. If you need 6, get as many as you need. But yeah, it's not about just going there and getting your timing. Taking care of the kids down there, going there, buying the spread, hanging out, having them come out to you and ask their questions, give them advice, just going back and saying, hey, this feels good to be back with these younger guys, because you just never know who's going to be the next big thing, so to speak. So I'm all for rehab games. Take as long as you want, especially since we're about to roll over the calendar month into June. There is absolutely no need to rush back. Your team is still relatively in the hunt. Take as much time as you can, because we know injuries in this team in the last 2 years has been a huge question mark for recovery time. There's no need for you to even question this. Get 100%, take a little extra if you need to, and come back ready to go to the end of this season.
All right, when guys dominate in big league series, big league seasons, whatever, it's like, oh, well, Yordan Alvarez he's rehabbing against the Rangers right now. He makes it look like they're a minor league team. And to me, I think he's a top 5 hitter in the game. We discussed it earlier. Can he win an MVP being ultimately just a DH?
100%. I think it's absolutely possible. I mean, we've seen pitchers win it. Why not a designated hitter? So, yeah, if he continues at this pace he's on right now, I think it's a pretty unanimous vote. I don't think anybody comes close. I mean, you could put defensive war in there against guys like, the Judges, the Bobby Witt Juniors, all these guys coming up. But this guy is on a historic pace. The thing about Yordan is, yeah, you can look at all his slugging numbers and his power numbers, but people tend to forget how much of a pure hitter Yordan Alvarez truly is. And you don't see it unless you watch him on a daily basis. This guy will take your away pitches the other way for that single, for the 2 RBI, 1-run single, if he needs to, and he'll be completely fine with it. He's not going to chase. He's not going to get overly big in his swing, so he controls the zone very well. He takes his walks. He takes his knocks the other way. Yeah, he's going to hit the 120-mile-an-hour homers for you all the time, but when he's locked in like this, there's no way I'm throwing him a strike. I mean, we looked at him at a 3-0 slider on the outer third to dead center on a line yesterday. It makes you wonder, why aren't these guys just putting up the 4 fingers and sending you right on down to the baseline? At this point, he's got to get the Barry Bonds treatment, and you have to respect that when he's such a great power hitter, but he's also a very good contact and pure hitter as well. And I think that's what gets overlooked about Yordan.
Josh, I have a question for you. Can we show that graphic again? Can you see the graphic on the screen? The one we just
bring it back.
The one there was the Yordan one. Can we I was hoping we could show that again. Oh, hold on. Yeah.
We can get it up there.
Yeah, no, I know. I want to show you how good Yordan Alvarez is. What's he hitting average wise?
312.
What's his BABIP?
301.
Damn, he's really good. He's hitting higher with an average than balls he's putting in play. That's how you know you're a damn good hitter, Josh, right there.
When you're hitting better than the balls you put in play, that's
right. You're getting hits on strikeouts and walks. That's how good you are.
That's a Hall of Famer in my book, boys.
Right? Thank you. Thank you for that.
That's beautiful.
Oh man, I was like, wait a second. People say I don't pay attention.
Wait. Yeah, but do you guys know? I mean, there's some people, including me, who has to do a double take for a minute. You know why that's the case?
I didn't think that was possible.
There's a ball that's not put in play that is still a hit. It's called a homer.
Those don't count.
The one that hits a base runner?
Homers don't count on BABIP?
I don't think so. Hold on.
Why would they not count? It's in play for a second.
Batting average on balls in play.
It takes away strikeouts.
Okay. I had an unofficial worst stat in baseball. That one just took over if that's the case. That officially wins as the worst stat in baseball if that's the case.
And it's the BIBIP. What did she call it?
BIBIP.
BIBIP. It's the BIBIP, by the way.
A player who hits a lot of homers can have a higher average than his BIBIP. It's real.
It's an irrelevant
real,
stat.
That's a real thing.
No, it's irrelevant.
It's a real thing. But
that
I didn't
just
even
went
think
out.
of that, and I'm
Gosh,
glad.
that stat. Now listen, analytics I get. That stat to me just went out because when you hit a home run, your average goes up.
It's it not.
I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
When I look on that Jumbotron at every stadium and it shows all my stats and I hit a homer, 1+ gets added to that H column every time.
Yeah, but batting average on balls in play is a different stat. Like you're not trying to drive up.
It's talking about luck. It's talking about luck.
Yeah. It's trying to help the luck component. You know, so yeah,
it's still dumb. It's dumb either way.
That just officially took over as the dumbest stat I've ever heard of.
All right. Well, look, we'll get back on pace here. The second best hitter on the Astros is a guy that was, in my opinion, this close to getting traded at the beginning of this season. Obviously, everybody's like, "Oh, it's a great problem to have having extra. You have Paredes. How are they going to find at bats?" It's the same spring training narrative. Like, we don't know. Now, all of a sudden, it's like, crap, we got to find somebody else to fill in different spots. But Christian Walker's trade value, is it there in the sense that if the Astros do not come back, if all the things we talked about, it's not, it's just not happening. It doesn't come together for the Astros this year. Is his trade value for the Astros as high as it's ever been? And do you think they'll get what they want? Or do you think they would be able to run it back with him again next year as a corner piece, probably all-star first baseman?
Oh, I think his trade value right now is the highest they'll ever get out of him, unless he continues to do this for the rest of the year or something like that. But they tried early this offseason. They tried through spring training, and nobody wanted this guy. And you know what? Right now he's showing him like, hey, I'm not a forgotten person in baseball. And he showed that. We've seen what this Christian Walker can do playing for the Diamondbacks for so long. And it's great to see this guy come. But I think if you're looking at the overall picture, and if they were out of it by 10+ games right now, they'd probably be already having phone conversations with teams about this guy. But since I think they're so close, I think knowing Jim Crane, the way he functions, he's not going to let anything run out until they're completely out of it because he wants to win. They're still technically in that hunt. And who knows? Once you get your studs back, this team could take off and run away with this division because I promise you the guys that are up there right now aren't going to run away with it. Nobody in this division is going to run away with it. So we might be looking at teams making moves that we weren't really anticipating at this time. And luckily for them, they didn't get rid of him because of what's happened with Correa and getting, Jeremy Pena just now getting back. So it's good to see him have a bounce back year, but I think his trade value is through the ceiling right now. And whether he's out the door or not is yet to be told. I think the next month will play a lot in that role. But I mean, Who knows? Who knows? The way things are going and the way this division and this league's running around, we're looking at a coin flip situation every day.
That's the thing. It's not even just the division. Even if the Mariners just go on a tear and win, 18 of 20 and start to take over the division, you can still make a wild card spot. I mean, there are not teams running with that anytime soon. I don't think you're going to see that. There'll be at least one spot where you're going to look late in the year and be like, does anyone want this? Finishing stat here to end our conversation. The formula for BABIP, just because we got into it. So I'll actually get you guys the formula ready. Hits minus home runs divided by at-bats minus strikeouts minus home runs plus sacrifices. That's your
Who comes up with these algorithms of stats? That was I thought I got out of school in math class.
That's it. That's
Josh,
it.
here's my thing.
There's a lot of math in baseball.
Shouldn't BABIP batting average on balls in play? So every time you hit a ball and it goes in fair territory, including a home run, because that is in fair territory, shouldn't that count towards your bat? I learned something new today, Scott.
I agree, and because even a lot of homers can be caught routes.
It's definitely just a luck stat. That's the only. Don't put it up on a pedestal like, whoa, his BABIP was so high, he should be the MVP. No, it's a luck stat. It's a luck stat because people who don't know the game can't watch it.
Not if you add homers to it, it ain't.
Yeah, but
it's also
minus
his home runs.
Homers ain't lucky.
I love homers.
But again, you're not trying to be like the best BABIP in baseball. The stat was created to measure what happens after the defense has a chance to turn a batted ball into an out.
Okay, homers, they can rob homers though. So if you hit a home run and the guy jumps over the fence and catches it, that hurts your BABIP, even though it would have been a homer.
Sure does.
And also, let me ask you this question. This is also another question. Listen, I wanted a high BABIP because that means I was getting a lot of hits. I don't care, whatever, but I don't know. Anyways, the people are going to say we hate analytics, which is not true, but that's just fascinating the way they can manipulate stats in the way they want to make them.
Can I say it?
You can say it.
I hate analytics.
Brandon Marsh is getting hated on. Brandon Marsh was almost leading the league in hitting, and he's getting hated on because he has the highest BABIP in baseball history right now. And I'm like, he's leading the league. He could get a trophy for leading the league in hitting. And hitting in the big leagues is so hard to do.
No, it's easy. It's super easy. It's so easy from behind the keyboard.
It's not.
So easy.
It's not. Yep. I have a keyboard right here, and it's not easy. It wasn't easy when I had a bat in my hand either.
Sure wasn't.
Only thing easy in this combo is, like I promised at the top, can you just maybe go right above the fold there so we can see the Colt 45 shirt on the way out here for the newest sponsor on the show? There it is. That's nice. Oh, yeah. That's Royal Retros. So before the Killer Bees, before the Astrodome, there were the Colt 45. So kids, look it up. Josh is rocking one of the retro unis, and the code is FOUL, which is the code that you know well, royalretros.com, QR code on the screen, or we'll put it in the link in the description of this episode. But again, there's the QR code. In case you're interested, there's the hats, there's the sweet starter jacket that they have there too. Check it out. And also, make sure you check out Crush City Territory. Josh Reddick on there frequently with Chandler and Tyler, bringing it a few times a week. Josh, it was a pleasure. We learned a lot. We truly learned a lot today. We did. We learned beyond just what Houston is doing. We learned about math.
Yay.
Appreciate you, man. Great catching up. Love listening to you. Talk soon, dude.
Take care, guys.
You too. Hey, I've got one during our little break here. The Orioles sweeping the Rays. Anyone? I got destroyed. I go on Baltimore radio more than any other spot. I go on a couple spots there.
Well, that's because they ask you every third day to go on. I mean,
it's not just that one spot though. There's a few.
Oh, I know. There's multiple ones. They ask you multiple times a week to come on. It's like, okay, dude, like uncle, I love you, but uncle on the request.
I went on Glenn Clark's show the other day, and he was kind of making fun of me. He played the clip of when I was on saying, well, the Orioles aren't doing anything well, but I still think they're good. And then they were making fun of me. And then I still went on the show and said they're like, because, in Baltimore, it's like the sky is falling. They're the worst team ever. And I'm like, they're not the worst team. They're not that bad. I was like, they're pretty good. I was like, I think they can hit. I think there's enough pitching there. I'm not sure about the bullpen, but I was like, they're going to compete for a wild card spot. And here they are. It's like you have one good week and they're right there.
Because the American League sucks. Josh Reddick said it.
That's where we have to, because I guess Scott left, but
no, I'm here.
That's where we have to, as the superior analysts of baseball, we need to try to see through the muddle, of all these meh American League teams, and that's why it's so hard to predict right now. But I agree with Scott. I think the Orioles are better than what their record shows in a bad American League.
Yes. And let this team show you that they can swing the bats. I mean, Gunnar Henderson is going to figure it out, and he's starting to figure it out this week. Pete's going to end up with 35, 40 plus. There's enough offense here to keep up in my mind. And for me, Shane Baz, the start that you got from him this week, that is a huge step. I know you got to put it together consistently. No, you shaking your head. That looked good. That's the guy that everyone's dreaming of, where they're like, can I get that a little more? I know you need 5 in a row, 7 innings. What was it? 1 or 2 runs and 9 Ks the other night. Really good.
That's how you beat the Rays, though. You beat the Rays by letting them swing and miss somehow and letting them put their ball in play. Like they're not going to drive the ball out of the ballpark as much. So Shane Baz, I thought, did a great job. I need to see him be able to pitch for 5 straight starts with his potential, because there's been a lot of potential, and he needs to be that guy for the Orioles moving forward, because he signed that extension and they're counting on him a lot.
Let's shake it up. Let's do what the kids do. So one of the latest trends on the social medias is throwing out 10 things and then ranking them blindly. Okay? Blind rankings. We've seen people do it with foods, whatever, name it. Players, this is a very common one, and that's what we're going to do here. So ready for the game? I'll give you the rules, and then you give me quick answers, AJ, and then we can talk about how it went for you. Then we'll do the same for Kratz. So we are going to rank the top 10 players over the next 3 years. Okay? From the list that I give you. I'm giving you like a top 100 player list.
Now, hold on. Before we do this, do Kratz and I have the same list of players?
No.
Okay.
No.
And also, we do not know who you're going to give us. I want people to understand. I do not know the players you're going to give me. So you could give me somebody, and I could be like, 1!
Guys. Exactly.
And I'm like, damn it, there was someone better at 9 players later.
AJ's list is different than my list, so I can listen. I don't have to go into the phone booth and put my hands over my ears.
I'll give you one example before we start to make it easy. Like, let's just take the 2 MVPs from last year, and let's say you think Ohtani's better than Judge. If I'm running through this and the 4th player I give you is Judge, AJ, and you put him 1, you have to. It's kind of a guessing game. That's why it's fun. Are you going to get Ohtani if you think Ohtani's 1? Because if
10.
not, then you put Judge 1.
10.
All right, 10. Wow.
Ohtani makes too much money. 10.
No money factor here. So here are the rules for this particular game. Top 10 players of the list I give you over the next 3 years. This isn't the top 10 players, period. Just of the list that I give you. I'm giving you 10 players. Rank who you think is going to be best to worst over the next 3 years. Okay? You both have randomized lists from about a top 100.
No
AJ,
whammy,
ready
no whammy, no
to
whammy.
Go?
Yep.
Let's do this. Number 1, Julio Rodriguez.
I got to go conservative because I don't know the other 9, so I'm going to go like 4. 4.
I love seeing you squirm. That's my favorite part about this.
Paul Skeens.
Oh, really? 2. Gosh, like, really?
This is going to be fun for you. Riley Green.
Oh, no, he's like a 7.
Okay.
'Cause the first two are better than him.
Yes, right. You're going to see. There's some good names on this list. Francisco Lindor up next for you to rank blindly.
Next three, he's 9 for me. And Riley Green has an E on the end.
He does. Riley Green has an E at the end. Aaron Judge.
Next 3 years, I'm going to put him at 3.
Okay. Right.
I'm going to
He's
get
in his
stuck.
mid-30s.
I'm going to get stuck so bad.
Brian Wu.
You're doing great.
Brian Wu is 6 for me. He's had some injuries in the past.
Next up, Gunnar Henderson.
5.
Okay.
Running out of
Give our
spots
crack
quick.
staff.
No, that's 6.
Chance.
Oh, we're catching up. I'll give you a sec to
Hang
catch
on,
up here.
Hang on.
Gap behind the scenes, crushing it. This is not easy.
I feel like you're getting stuck. I feel like, and you're getting stuck right now.
But I don't know who's coming, so I can't. This isn't like those ones
That's
where
okay.
they tell you.
You're doing great.
They tell you, hey, here's the 5 things you get to list. I don't have no idea who's coming.
3 left. Ellie De La Cruz.
8.
He already filled in 5.
Yeah, 5 was Judge.
No, 5 was
Gunnar
Henderson.
Yeah. Sorry. 8 for Ellie.
Okay. Nolan McLean.
He's got to be 10 just because I don't know who 1 is, and I don't want to know who the last one is. So I'm going to put him at 10. That's not a knock on him. This sucks, but all right, yeah. After I see it, I want to change it. But go ahead. So yes, he's 10 for me on this list.
Okay. AJ, you played this one well. Last player for you. Bobby Witt Jr.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Look at me getting lucky as all get out. Thank you, Scott,
Good
for
job,
making me look
dude.
good.
No, but that was impressive. You left the 1 spot open. I mean, and hey, there's no perfect list here. Some people are going to look at this and be like, "You're crazy. It should be Skeens, Judge, whatever." But your top 3 is really, really nice. You didn't have
It's
one
hard
of those.
for me to argue with
issues.
the top 3. I could make some adjustments towards the bottom just because I'd move some guys around down there in the bottom. And there's some guys I really like in there that I feel bad that they're that low, but it's blind. It's blind. So I'm proud of my list. I'll take that. Thank you. Now move on to Kratz and let's see how much he squirms in the hot
Good job. Yeah. See, it's a pressurized game.
That was good.
Blind rankings.
I thought you messed it up with the Judge thing. I thought you could have put Judge a little lower, and then I think people would say Julio's going to have a better next 3 years, but then some people could say Judge, his next 3 years are still going to be prime Judge. But you were right. But I'll make sure when Nolan McLean comes on, can we save that clip to make sure Ellie's not going to come on because he's still eating in the food room. But when Nolan comes on, I want to make sure that we put that up as AJ's top 10. That's good.
It's great for out of context rankings. It is.
True.
Like, it's funny. This is where you were ranked by AJ. And then let's play the game with Kratz. Here we go. Your blind rankings, same category, top 10 players over the next 3 years. Rank you top 10 from the 10 that we give you, right? And let's start with Corbin Carroll.
6.
Next player to put in your top 10, Ronald Acuna Jr.
7.
Wow.
Acuna behind Carroll. Next up, Tarek Skubal.
2.
Next player to put in your top 10 blind rankings, Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
3. I feel like it should be 4, but I'm going to go 3. Next 3. Next 3 years. Good luck typing that name in.
Yep. There we go. Beautiful direction. Shohei Ohtani.
1.
So
goodness we're not
after
doing
Ohtani
5
gets
years.
placed here.
Thank goodness we're not doing 5 years.
5 years gets interesting when you start looking at ages. But this is just for 3 years. A little easier to project. CJ Abrams.
9.
Man, Kratz, you got some heavy hitters on this list. Vladdy Jr.
Oh man, I want to go 5 or 8. 5 or 8. I'm going to go 8 because you manipulated me. You said I got some heavy hitters on the list, so I'm going to go Vladdy 8. Sheesh.
I didn't say heavy hitters for the rest of the list. I said the current list, but okay.
Oh well.
Next time we do this, I'm just going to throw random people at you later, but we're going with all big boys for the most part. Top
Curtis
100.
Mead.
Drink the mead. Cal Raleigh up next.
4.
Okay. 2 players left to rank. As we're putting in Cal. Jose Ramirez.
5. I like that.
Oh, I so wish Shohei would have been last. I so wish Shohei would have
No.
been last.
Hey, I'm glad I
You would
didn't
have had
get
to put him 10. You got off the hook so easy.
Wow, I had Shohei.
Whoa. Hold up.
I had a few guys. I had a few guys
up,
that would have been number 1, and Shohei was up there, so I had to go for it. You got to play your cards when you're dealt them.
Last player to rank. Juan Soto.
Oh, wow.
That is so. I got set up. This is what you get. This is what you get.
No, this was carefully vetted. All those, what are those places that do the awards, like the Deloittes and all the places they hire for official results, and it's sealed and blah, blah, blah. This was checked. I did not come up with players on the fly. This was a randomized list of high-level players.
Juan Lo Siento, man. Lo Siento.
I wonder Juan won't ever come on the show. Scott Kratz got him ranked 10th.
Where would you have put him on that list?
Where would I put Juan Soto? He would have been number 2.
2? Yeah, 2 for the next.
I get
years.
it. This year he's been off the field, but the dude
No.
is on the field. Yeah, he was hurt.
I know, but even still, he's got 8 homers in his last 12 games or something. Even missing a week and a half, he's still going to be insane this year.
But I'm saying he's always on the field. He's going to get his numbers. He's going to, on a bad team, his on base percentage might be 450. On a good team, his on base percentage might be 420, and he might have 45 dingers. He would be number 2. I had him, I had Soto, Shohei, and I was trying to think the one other person that I was like, ooh, but you already said Bobby Witt, so I'm not to me, I think those guys are right up there in the top 3 players in the game. But as soon as you said Shohei, that's easy. I'll give my number 1 spot to Shohei. Nobody was taking that. I knew that was going to be right. I think Juan would be second. I think I could flip-flop Ronald Acuna, but I think Ronald needs to stay on the field. In the next 3 years, could Ronald miss a season and win an MVP in those 3 years? Yes. So should he be moved up? I don't know.
The irony here, AJ, is CJ Abrams in the Juan Soto trade, and the Nats clearly won the trade. They've got Abrams and then some, and Kratz doesn't even have Soto ranked above him for the next few years. Young Juan Soto. That's good. The best part of this game overall was just now when AJ, you finished nicely there. You had the spot open, but you thought, oh, Kratz got off easy, 10, whatever, and then you drop a top, 5 player, something like that. That's good. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Any other ideas? We're always down, so drop it in the comments if you've got something for us. Blind rankings. We can do this from time to time. We're getting ready for David Samson to do the hard work over the next 20 minutes of the CBA battle that has officially begun this week. Hey, did you guys see Tony Vitello talking about Giants third base coach Hector Borg Giants are having some issues on the base paths. They asked if he'd consider replacing him, and Vitello said, I think we need to pick up the info we got from the last 3 days. I'll get together as a group since it's an off day and everybody's got some time, and tell everybody to gather up some thoughts, and we need to look at any possible way that we can improve, any possible way to eliminate mistakes as well. And on him getting the gig in the first place at third base coach, he said, during the meetings we had at Oracle Park, his name came up as a guy down in the org who would, some would be truly disappointed if for some reason he bounced to another org. There are guys who switch for various reasons. And sometimes if they're even moving for a lateral position, if there's permission, you can lose a guy. So that was kind of the origin of it. The first time I was able to meet him in person was in spring training. And Susan Slusser and FP Santangelo are digging into this more on their show Splash Hit Territory, which is a hit. It's a great show. So listen for more. I don't watch every, Giants game, especially right now because they kind of stink. But thoughts on especially the last part of the answer here?
I just don't understand. We've got to meet to discuss whether or not we're going to replace the third base coach. Like, what? Aren't you the manager? Don't you have this decision in your head? And if you don't know, the whole quote didn't make any sense to me. I don't even.
But also,
the quote. Honestly,
AJ,
I don't even understand the quote. You didn't meet him till spring training?
Yeah.
All of this just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's that. I'm confused also, AJ. This dude is an extension of you out on the field. So somebody convinced you to keep him? I mean, if that's the case, all coaches out there, you guys better get your LinkedIn baseball page and hook up to as many people so tons of people can talk great about you.
That's the one that's tough for me. I mean, your coaching staff, like I know the coaching staffs are larger these days, but are you not meeting with your coach that you're hiring as a new manager? That your third base coach, that's an important spot.
Sometimes you're given coaches, though. A lot of these managers are given coaches. They don't get to pick their staffs. Like, they used to be able to pick your staff. Now, a lot of times, you might get one or two guys you get to pick, and the rest are already given to you. So you got to be real careful. You got to be able to get along. But, I mean, the fact that he didn't meet him until spring training. And this is my favorite quote. We need to pick up the information we got from the last 3 days. What information? What are we talking?
They had bad base running. There was base running issues, and they're the worst.
Is that the third base coach's problem
in baseball? Yeah, it's the team. They stink at running the bases.
The Sweet Life. Let's talk to David Samson, former Marlins exec and great host of Nothing Personal with David Samson. And this is really his Christmas right now. We got CBA talks, and this week going over what the players propose and the MLB side that's coming up. So yeah, I listened this morning, David, as I often do. Great to have you back on, man. Let's get into this. Let's roll up our sleeves. You know how we roll here. No holds barred. Say whatever the heck you want. Let's start fun though. So your thoughts first here on the player proposal, and get into however you want to get into it. But give me one thing you loved about it and one thing you hated about it.
I love that they made it. I love that we're starting the process, because you can't have a deal without yesterday, and you can't have a deal without today, and you can't have a deal until we're hanging by our fingernails at the last vestiges of a work stoppage that could be resulting in missed games or, God forbid, more. You've got to get to that point. You can't just imagine you're at that point. So this is a step. So that I liked. What I didn't like is the fact that it's posturing. Both the players union, you're going to see today with the owners, they're going to make a proposal to the players, and there's going to be some sort of public release PR statement that is released, like Bruce Meyer did yesterday. MLB will do it today, and it's all meant to try to convince us of stuff that may or may not be true, but it's, again, just part of the process. So what I hate is the process, and what I love is the process.
Nice. Okay. So now let's get into the big one, and then we'll work our way down to other details. So we know the league's going to propose a cap. That's a fact at this point. We know that the player side now proposed what is essentially a cap, or a floor for owners, which we have never seen. And you could call it a soft floor, right? Because it wasn't a, hey, you have to be here. There's penalties on the bottom, and you can explain this better than I can. So take me through the math there as someone who was running an organization that was a low rev, smaller market team, what this looks like from the owner's side.
Yeah, so the players called it a competitive integrity tax. And really, there's been a rule in place long before today. It's been in place for a couple decades, which is, hey, you're going to get revenue sharing. Okay, use it to, quote, improve your major league product. And we took that as an open invitation to do anything we wanted with our revenue sharing and to have any payroll we wanted, because we could always just write a letter that said, hey, this weight room helps our major league product, or this improvement in development where we bought pitching machines, that will help our major league product. What the players are trying to say is that what really helps the product is only paying players at the major league side. And I understand why that would be their position. It makes perfect sense. And by having a tax on teams that can't get to that number, you are putting them at a tremendous disadvantage, because the other part of their proposal really lessened the amount of money coming to them in revenue sharing. And the players were not very forthcoming about that in their salvo yesterday. They said that there'll be more money going to small market teams, but I did the math, and because of where they're moving the CBT threshold to, it's actually less money. But I totally understand why they would say that and why they would want that.
Okay, I got I got a question for you on some of this stuff that you just said, right? About you got revenue sharing. You used to own the Marlins. You used to be in the Marlins ownership, right? And so the Marlins, right, with this new thing that Rob Manfred comes out and says there's this huge discrepancy between the Marlins in last place and the Dodgers. You can argue over the numbers, how they're going to play the numbers, this and that. But here's the question, and this is from Codify Baseball. Forbes report on the Marlins: 320 in revenue, 99 million in player expenses, 53 in operating income. So they made roughly 160 million, around there, okay, that they didn't do in anything, and a 400 million increase in team value. Where's the problem, Marlins? I don't understand. Marlins made 500 million last year. David, I don't understand. This is not a player versus owner fight. This is an owner versus owner fight, and a greed versus greed fight.
Yeah, I'll just tell you that those numbers, I'm not running the team anymore, but it would be a dream. But 53 million in operating income, that's not cash to me. That is profit from operation, but that may not count any debt service they have or payments that they have to make. So there's a technical accounting term, which to me, I was always interested in how much money is in the bank account on January 1 and how much money is in the bank account on December 31, and that would give you the numbers for the year. But in terms of if you put that quote back up, it's missing a couple of things in the calculation. It talks about what player expenses is, and you can see 99 million. But what you're saying, you can't compare 99 player expense to 320 in revenue, because there's a ton of other expenses to run a baseball team, and not just player development, which is tens of millions of dollars, but it's even more than that. But you've got all of your cost of people. You've got your cost of operating a stadium. So there's a ton of costs in there. Interest income is something that no one wants to talk about, but you got to pay your mortgage. That's what interest income is. And the other thing is on the worth of the team. That is a false argument. If Bruce Sherman, the owner of the Marlins, could get $1.6 million for his team today, I believe that deal would happen. The reality is that you don't know what your team is worth except what someone will pay for it. And so I can tell you that the Padres are worth $3.9 billion. I can also tell you that that number does not impact what people are bidding for the Nationals or the Angels or the Twins or the Marlins, because if it were, then the Nationals, Twins, and Angels would be sold already because those owners want to sell. So there's not that correlation that you think.
What's the one thing that would make everything very black and white for this process to go smoothly for Major League Baseball? Because you're talking about operating expenses that cost, the Marlins have a $99 million player expense. Well, that's not their payroll for the season. That has some cooked in. What is the one thing that we could lay it out? Owners show this, players show this, and this is how we move forward so that Major League Baseball is better after this CBA.
But you know this. The union has access to the financials. The union sees the actual audited financials of the teams. That's the ultimate irony of all this for me, is that everyone says everyone's lying, except everyone has the audited statements where you can't fool auditors. There's no accounting tricks. There's notes. There's tens of pages of notes that accompany all audit reports. It's thick, and you sign it as the team president, and you have to read every word and understand why the numbers are what the numbers are. Transparency is not the issue. Certainly as it relates to fans, they don't have the transparency because who wants to think about or look at these numbers? But collective bargaining, the players and the owners are looking at the same facts, but they just look at them through different prisms. And you can see that with the commissioners saying it's about competitive balance, the players saying, what are you talking about? The Brewers are in first place. So when two people look at the same situation and see a different item or a different figure, it's hard to negotiate.
Okay, a couple of things on this. One, you say they're looking at the same books. Okay, open them up to the public then. Let me see them. I'd love to read them. I'd love to see them. Why won't we do that?
Yeah, it's just a private business. I wouldn't do it. I was asked to do it. Do you know what's a funny story? I once opened the books to a reporter for the Miami Herald. Because it was so ridiculous what was being reported, and I wanted the Herald to get it right while we were trying to get a stadium. I sat with him, and he went through our audited numbers. I literally opened the books. What came out was an article that was completely incorrect and that it didn't give the correct picture. And it made people's eyes glaze. I think you say that and people say they want to see books, but that's not really true. What they want is to root for a team that can win. They want players who they love cheering for. I just don't think the normal fan is interested in EBITDA, but maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, then let me ask you this. Competitive balance. Who's in first place right now? Well, the A's fell out, but the Rays, the Guardians, right? They're low budget, small market, but they're ahead of some of these big market teams. What's the competitive balance argument's kind of gone out the window other than the Dodgers, right?
No, I think you have to be smart. You are smart in that. First of all, you know that standings change, but you also know that when you get into the playoffs, you watch the Brewers play the Dodgers, and it was just an absolute crushing because the Dodgers just had a depth of pitching that the Brewers simply could not and cannot match. So it's not about looking at 1 year's worth of standings. Anything to have statistical relevance needs time. It needs sample size. I'm not going to look at 60 games and tell you that I conclude X or Y. I don't think anyone should do that in any business. You have to take a much longer term view and then analyze. And the analysis says that the lower the payroll, the less likely it is to make the playoffs. And even if you're in the playoffs, the less likely it is to advance. It's not that the owners are making that up. It's actually the facts going back, 20 years.
How do those facts compare to the salary cap leagues then? Because there's absolute inept teams that are raking in money, and there's teams that win that are raking in money in other leagues.
Such a great point.
And if we're talking about franchise, I'm not even sure what the word is, how much you make year after year, multiply it by 12, that's what NFL teams are selling their teams at. MLB teams are selling their revenue, multiply it by 7. And so ultimately, how is it not going to be traded as or sold to the fans as greed? Oh, easy. We just go around and say competitive, 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 when other leagues that don't have that or that have salary caps don't have that competitiveness.
Well, listen, you're never going to legislate away stupidity. You know that. There's front offices that no matter what are just going to stink, and the teams are going to be bad. You're also going to have dynasties in leagues with salary caps. We've seen it in football with the Patriots. You saw it in basketball with the Warriors. And there's dynasties in baseball without a salary cap with teams that aren't necessarily at the top of the payroll chain. My only point in how to look at things in a capped league is that I just want the difference between the top team and the bottom team to be smaller so that we can point out who's really stupid and who's not. In the NFL, does anyone argue that the Jets are just incompetent? Because they've got the same ability to win as the Packers. It's not about New York versus Green Bay, which in baseball would be a big deal. That's number one. Number two, those other sports, every team has a chance to keep their players. Think about Oklahoma City. They could win a second title in a row. They re-sign their star players. When we won a title, we had to let Pudge go to Detroit. We had to trade Derek Lee because we just literally could not afford it, didn't have the cash. And I just would rather teams have an opportunity to show that they're smart or be shown that they're not.
So your example's perfect, right? You guys needed more money. I'm trying to make it super simple for everyone here watching to understand why we're going to talk about this for a while and have back and forth legal. Lawyers are going to, they win always out of all of this, right? Because it's not just the amount of lawyers on both sides that are hired, it's the outside counsel. There's so much money going to lawyers during the next year. It's insane. But fast forward, David, to the time when it actually gets to, hey, are we going to miss spring training games? All of that. If the players are truly holding firm that their one thing is they will not give in on a cap, and you said in the past, you need more money, and the sport's one league altogether, why don't they just share it better? The money is there, right? The Dodgers are making a fortune. I think they could do double the budget they have now and still be fine. That's how much money they're making on one player in Ohtani. Why don't they just share it?
Listen, I'd love there to be more revenue sharing. There was nothing I enjoyed more than taking the Yankees' money and then beating them in the World Series. I mean, let's be clear. That was fantastic. So I acknowledge that it's okay to be a revenue sharing recipient. But at the end of the day, we're lucky. We won a World Series in 97 and 03. I was only there for 03. And I want an opportunity to have shown that we had better front offices where we could have done a better job of raising our payroll, because we did it one time. And in 2012, we brought in these players. It didn't work. And then all of a sudden, we didn't have access to any capital, couldn't afford to write checks, so had to bring the payroll down again. And that is just such a bad look to go up, down, up, down. It makes everybody dizzy. So is there enough money to be shared? I'd like there to be more money shared, but until we get more national media deals, it's really hard to know how much money that is. So what's being negotiated now is not the amount of money as much as it is the mechanism of sharing. That's what's being negotiated above all.
Is there a way to find the happy medium of competitive balance without franchise values skyrocketing? Like, as a player, I feel like owners want.
Of course they do. Why do players want to be owners? It's always, don't you want to own your show? It's always better to own your show, to own your things, than to be an employee. It's always, people get really rich with equity, not salary. That's always been the way of the world. You can live really well with a high salary. You know, as a player, you can make $10 to $15 million a year and live a great life. But of course, the person owning the team is going to do better. It's also a matter of risk. They're risking more. Of course, they're more wealthy, but they're still risking more. But I just bring you back to the thought that players get upset. And this is not just in baseball, by the way. This is every single union across any industry has an issue with management because they want a bigger piece of the pie. They want more money. And management says, we'll pay you your salaries, but then that's it. We'll take the appreciation of the asset. We'll even give you some stock along the way, like if you're part of a public company where you own stock. But please don't misunderstand. It's always better to be an owner, and that has nothing to do with baseball.
Well, let's finish with that. Sacramento wants to own their own baseball team. That came out today with their big pitch and the money and the whole deal. You're smiling. I just said on the last one, I don't do
said,
this
hey,
often.
We need an owner. We got a great city. We just need an owner. I'm sorry. Other than that,
no, you're good. You're good. I want to let you cook because for me, we were like, okay, they've got a team right now. I know it's not the same. And also, I just think, and I've talked to some people that Salt Lake City's a lock. And so this is all just a little pony show. But what are your thoughts on the teams that'll pop up here and say, choose us?
Oh, I love it. Why? Because it makes the fees go higher. You have to have competition. It is critical in any league to have demand. You need cities saying, I want a team, I want a team. How do you think that Vegas and Seattle got the expansion fee for the NBA that they got? Because there were cities around the country saying, we want the NBA. And if you want it, you got to pay for it. So from baseball's standpoint and the owner's standpoint, they want as many cities, even if it's not viable. Like Montreal is not going to get an expansion team, but they're not going to be told that yet. They're going to be like a stalking horse. It's like the GOAT in the Survivor, the finale of Survivor. Joe gets no votes. There's always somebody who's just there for the ride, and that's what some of these cities are.
Well played. David, great to have you on, man. Always appreciate the conversation. We'll be doing more of this if you'll take the invite, since we'll have more info coming out. And everyone check out his show if you want more breaking down detail by detail on the CBA battle. Thanks, David. Good talking to you, man.
Appreciate it, guys. Take care of yourselves.
You too. Hey, let's continue the combo because, as expected during the show, breaking news, as expected, yes, MLB proposed a hard salary cap to union officials today as part of the next CBA. The salary floor for teams beginning in 2027 would be set at 171 and 2/3 million, or 0.2, sorry, 2/3. I'm talking in innings, $171.2 million, which includes player benefits, with the ceiling, the cap, at 245.3. So 171 is your low, 245 is your high.
There's no
Boom,
money.
there it is.
But they don't
And we
have money. They
continue to
can't
play.
afford. But the $99 million Marlins can't afford. Barely survive. David Samson and all his crap he just spewed about how we can't afford it. But now all of a sudden every team can afford 171. Come on, man. This is some bull crap, man. I'm sorry.
But this is the whole point.
I know he just spewed for 20 minutes about how him and the Marlins couldn't afford, to keep the team around and this and that. They had the money to pay him the contracts originally. And now that the players went at 150, and now the owners say 171 and 240 is the cap now, hard cap. Like, come on, this is why this negotiations take so long. This is kind of ridiculous. I'm not going to say just from the owner, kind of from both sides, but this is kind of ridiculous.
The funny thing is, though, yeah, if the teams can't afford that kind of money, then what do? You share it. It's the whole answer to everything. All you have to do is figure out how they're splitting.
It's an owner versus owner fight. It's an owner versus owner fight. That's what it is.
That's the whole name of the game. That's it.
Here, guys, we'll help you. We'll help you. This is Stevie Cohen. Stevie Cohen. This is Hal Steinbrenner. Hal Steinbrenner. This is Tom Ricketts. And you guys meet together and you guys talk about how you have the majority of the money. The other teams want it. If you truly, as Major League Baseball, want competitive balance and a fair fight for each season, you're going to have to give some of this money up. Well, I'm not giving it up. How about you? Are you giving it up? Nope. We already give them a lot. We have to give them more? Wait a minute. How's that going to happen? Oh, just give them more because, okay, well then let's get a floor. You guys have to spend every penny on payroll. To me, that's where the answer is. Not, oh, because we bought 2 Traject machines, that's $1 million for our Dominican Academy. Oh, we just built a new Dominican Academy that's $30 million. Well, we spent 30 of the Yankees' money that they gave to us, the Pirates.
Yeah, and that's a real estate deal at that point. I'm boosting my real estate that I'm going to sell.
Assets.
It's insane. It's insane, dude. But props to Jesse Rogers for breaking the story. More on that tomorrow.
I'm so excited to read it.
That's a small window, by the way. 170 to 240.
Yep. BetMGM Locks. Let's look at last night. Nothing worked besides my Yankees call. No sweat bet.
Easy peasy. Garrett Cole. He's back.
Oh, man, he's back. 10 punchies against the Royals. Impressive. Yankees having a good week, too. They sweep KC.
Royals can't. They stink.
They can't hit.
Yeah, the Royals are struggling. Updated money bags for you. I'll go first. I mentioned this earlier in the show. AJ, I like the Rangers-Astros game tonight. I'm taking the under at 7.5 runs, putting out 120 to win a hundo. Evaldi against Arrighetti. Arrighetti's been awesome. Rangers can't hit. That ballpark's tough. And Evaldi's a gamer. Like this. I mean, he's pitching well anyway, AJ, but we both watched him for a while. Patterns. This is the type of outing where he wants to match what Arrighetti's doing or beat Arrighetti, right? There's times when Evaldi matches up against someone who's either sizzling hot or a better pitcher, quote, better pitcher than him, and he outperforms them. That's been his thing. You have him in the playoffs. He's a dude that shoves. So anyway, that's my pick.
Scott, how much do you like? How much do you believe in your pick?
I mean, it's not a 5-star pick, but if you look at my record this year, this is my best year ever in terms of what I'm doing. I'm not throwing down a lot of money, but what he wants me to like double or nothing or something? Oh, are you going you're going the other way?
I took the under in that game too, so you're screwed. And I'm parlaying it with Peyton Tolley to get 5 or more strikeouts against the Braves, and that gets me to plus 170. Not a lot of games to choose from. Not a lot of things I liked on the old bingo card today, but I just screwed Scott, so it makes my day.
No, what are you talking about? We're going to get our
Scott,
under.
does your love life need turbocharging?
It might after tonight if I get disappointed. 3-1 will be your final score in that game. And Peyton Tolley will pitch a a complete game, 9 innings, 4 strikeouts tonight for AJ.
No.
That would
Peyton Tolley.
No, Scott, we want good five.
Yeah, Peyton Tolley's going to get 6 strikeouts, but give up 7 runs because the Braves and Chris Sale are going to beat them by 1.5 tonight. I took the run line, and I'm getting plus 125. We got to re-rack the parlay for the people, okay? We got to re-rack it. I got the run line. Now you can get the run line at plus 135. All those together, we're getting plus 530 for everybody. Let's get that cash.
Thank you, Parlay Eric, but not really. It's just what Parlay Pap says. There are your picks. They're on the board. Have fun with it. And you can have fun with a little game that helps you get a little boost or a bonus. It's called the Swing for the Fences free-to-play game on the BetMGM app. Swing for a daily shot to win. You can play every day. You go in, you pick an area of the zone. If you get a knock, you get a prize. It's that simple. Prizes include a $50 bonus bet. You could win one of those. You could win a parlay boost token if you get a knock. Go check it out. Gambling problem or concern? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Hey, we're back. Of course, all this CBA stuff's coming out at the end of the show, so I'm just trying to.
By the way, Scott, let's also say this. Rob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, has an open invitation to come on the show anytime he wants. We've tried, and we've gotten to the point where I've jumped through all the hoops, got it done, and he canceled in the last 48 hours or whatever it was. I mean, I've texted him, won't return a text, so I don't think that's going to happen, but he has an open invitation. He's going around doing his media tour. I'd love to have him on and have a real conversation about this.
Go on a show where you can just flow, talk about whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of rules there. And we're down. We were like, yeah, bring him on as much time as he wants, whatever. I mean, we're going to ask whatever questions, but the questions are about baseball. So yeah, that's not the problem.
Pat Courtney can come on. I'd love to have Pat Courtney on too, his right-hand guy. He'd come on too. Talk to him about it if he wants.
I agree. I think it would be very meaningful to come on and talk to a show about what's going on and get questions that answer both sides of the spectrum here and not just kind of like the scripted stuff. It would be.
I want to be informed.
It would be helpful.
I want to be informed so that I know more to be able to let everyone else know more.
I think the biggest problem is like the thing that we're bringing up, right? Like there is an easy solution. All of this is to just share the money, and it's hard when you work for those people that are arguing behind the scenes, right? If you're Rob, how do you answer that question, right? Because he's not getting asked that, or not really, right? I mean, he was on McAfee yesterday. They didn't talk about that. He had his stuff. He laid out what he was saying. He had his lines.
Has some baseball games. We're going to be bipartisan. We're going to bring our information. Hopefully he can bring his information so that we can get this done. For what? The betterment of baseball. Isn't that what he's peddling right now? Competitive balance is for the betterment of baseball? That's what I'm here for, because I'll be gone long before Major League Baseball is gone, and I hope I leave it in a better place than when I was here on Earth participating in it.
Rob's going to have a lot of pressure here. Make sure we don't lose games or miss games. Legacy's on the line. This is it, right? He's retiring soon after that. So,
I mean, competitive balance. The Brewers make the playoffs every year. They don't win. It's really hard to win, but the Brewers are really good, and I love watching them play. I don't know. Competitive balance is an interesting way to put it.
All right, let's slap a guy who we respect greatly and is beloved in Pittsburgh. Might be done. Andrew McCutchen, DFA'd, cut by the Rangers. He was at 192, 537 OPS, 73 ABs. Nobody on the Rangers can hit, by the way.
Crappy way for him to go out. This is the end. Just because he wasn't a Pirate, he went back to Pittsburgh, and I don't know. It's just a crappy way for one of the good dudes in baseball if this is the end, a way to go out.
He's hitting better than Marcell Ozuna. I mean, the Pirates' offense is playing well, or about the same. Close. Kratz, is that what you said? About close.
It's close. That's what I was looking up in the break just to see. But, I mean, Marcell also got 170-some at-bats. Like, it's tough to get sporadic at-bats against lefties. Like, especially for a guy who controls the zone so well, like Kutch. Like, it's kind of a superpower that you're like, oh, I saw that yesterday. I saw that 3 days ago. It's a little bit different. But maybe I'm just making caveats for a friend, and it's tough to see it this way. I hope he can still help a team. I think he can, but again, I have a bias. I have a jaded lens.
Yes, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, beloved player in the sport for a while, and clearly, yes. Is he a star? No. Is he a big leaguer? We're about to find out if another team scoops him up for the rest of the season here. It was a weird, rocky boat at the end there with the Pirates over the offseason. Couldn't really tell if they actually were interested in him or if he just didn't like the offer. At some point, we'll get Kutch on, and we can ask him what really happened there. But anyway, hopefully he gets what he wants. If he wants to keep rolling and there's a team that's a fit, great. Otherwise, announce the retirement, and we can celebrate a career that included some really superstar standout seasons. But the bigger problem for the Rangers right now too is they got to figure out some offense. Jeez.
Can't hit it all at home. At all.
Heyo. Going to be a good battle. We're getting more info as it comes through here on what the league's proposing, what the players are proposing. We didn't really get to this, guys, but there's much more to these proposals than just the top one or two topics. The players proposed $1.5 million on the minimum salary for the first year, then 165 when it keeps going up each year, but 1.5 for next year. So that's about double what it currently is. They proposed the soft floor to go with the current soft cap. They proposed the cap or the soft cap numbers to keep moving. 300 mil would be next year, up from 244, which is what it is right now. They want to get rid of the qualifying offer. They want the pre-arb bonus pool to include more players, almost half the players versus about a fifth of them right now. I'm just rolling through. They want free agency by 30 if you're a 5+ year player in terms of service time, or if you can be kept, but then you'd have to hit an average of 125 top salaries. I'm going fast here, but anything that you guys want to stop and talk about for a moment from what the players proposed while I look through the league proposal?
All things the players want, all things that the players think they deserve. Nothing stands out. This is all stuff we've heard in the past. This is all stuff that if you've been in one of these players association meetings, this is all things that they've wanted in the past. So nothing is surprising in this for me.
If the owners want something so historic and just a massive thing like a cap, then you have to offer something so historic and crazy on the other end. And until that happens, I think there's going to be just zero listening to the word cap, any kind of top end, low end cap. It doesn't matter. Like, where are we talking? Free agency at 4 years? That would hurt the game. Like, that's not going to happen. So when you're talking about something over here, you have to have an equal or greater thing if you really want this thing over here that teams are saying is the cap and they want that cap badly.
Yeah, stuff's coming out as we go here. Evan Drellick posting the cap and floor numbers, plus said, the league goes 50-50 split in revenues. I got to read what that really means, because how do you know what the revenue split is if you're not setting the actual cap and floor numbers? Also, what does that include? That's a hotly debated topic these days. Does that include the land that you own and all of that, right? Which is becoming really part of this. And also that's a way that you can cookbooks these days, right? It counts. Oh, we're investing in this, so we're losing on that. I know I'm trying to simplify it, but it's true. This is just the battles that are going on behind the scenes right now. It's fun. It's fun when it's almost June, and this is what we get to talk about while the season's flowing. Credit to us. I don't pat us on the back often, but AJ, this stuff all came out. We spent 20 minutes on it, but we started the show with Ohtani as we should, and we're talking ball this year. Business for sure, but we'll have all off season for that too. Meanwhile, Evan Drellick joining us tomorrow to go over the details from the league side. So, AJ, we'll see you on Monday. Yes.
No, Tuesday. I'm off Monday. I switched next week with Todd because I got to fly to take my son to play summer baseball.
You're right. Dodgers territory coming up next, and live if you want to go to their YouTube channel. Ken Rosenthal tomorrow, Evan Drellick tomorrow. So we'll go over all the back and forth league stuff with the CBA. Mike Soroka from the Diamondbacks is joining us tomorrow.